Magic. Greetings to everybody. Good to see you. Perceive you. Good to see you. As we join this consciousness thread, right? And we become purposeful in our momentum, right? Let's settle into this beautiful energy. This energy is quite rapid. All right. I'm going to teach everyone how to slow it down today. All right. Okay. This is just a tidbit of what I'm going to be teaching in March. And if I have enough interest and people want to do it online, I might be able to do a 2-day seminar. Might. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about that. It comes with materials, and I could probably ship you the box. That would probably work. Yeah, I could probably do that. So that might be, they're saying May. Okay, so something like that. Okay. All of us are in this query. What? Let go of that. Just let go of it. And what you're doing is you're letting go of how you attach to life in the moment, and you're coming to yourself. Think of it that way. And when you think of it that way, pull your energy or pull your beingness toward you, or your feeling toward you, right? And you could say things like, bring my emotions back with love and gratitude, right? And then you begin to feel those, and you're creating the vibration that you want to experience around you. Okay. A lot of times we don't understand how law of attraction, one of the 12 universal laws, works, right? And it took me quite a while to really integrate and incorporate something that works for me, that's very open. All right. And it ended up being an alchemy practice, an ancient alchemy practice. And so, pardon me, in different structures, what you say, you've already felt into, and you've already thought about. So you've created an understanding and a meaning. And that is like an actionable operational value to you. And you will begin to, through creating the vibe of understanding, right? Creating a frequency around an experience or a subject or what have you, or a feeling, or both, because it's usually both. Okay. It generates the frequency into your experience. Okay. And now you have that one, if it wasn't present, alongside what you were practicing. The best part is that you can slow it down and choose which one you want. Okay. And that becomes your new magnet. Okay. I'm going to say something here that's kind of wild. Okay. What if, as a society, intuition was how we win? What if, as a society, intuition is how we win? All right. We, a collective we, everyone benefits, right? What if that is the key? All right. I feel a lot of your heads getting ready to explode. Ooh, because the energy is very fast, right? It's a very high vibration, a fast vibration. That means that it has rotational value, a cycle per second measurement. And that cycle per second measurement was quite a bit faster than where I was. And I'm noticing like where I was and what my vibration was, because I was a match for what I was experiencing. And then I decided that I could determine what I was willing to experience and not willing to experience. And I gave voice and I heard myself and I said, oh, wow, those are great choices. And then I realized that I kept telling myself about it. And then I said, oh, wow, I'm still feeling this way. And I connected the dots. I became ET and phoned home. I realized in that moment I was feeling a kind of way that I was experiencing with friends, right? And now I'm experiencing a feeling of the energy that we go into when we're speaking about source or universal energy or life force or spirit or information or thought or feeling or emotion. So many descriptors. All of us agree it's here, right? Energy. Okay. And that's my word for all of that. And so when I say information, I'm speaking about energy. And because in science they've proven that our physical body is energetic, right? It's never at rest, right? Okay. Why, if your physical body is supposed to be dense matter, okay, and there's no holes in it or no free flow, right? Why? Why do people think in those terms if you have movement? Because energy is the animation of life. That's what animates your experience is the energy. It's how you move it, what you think about it, how you feel about it, right? And if you're in right relationship to yourself and everything is honky-dory, then you're going to have a great experience because that's what you are choosing to tell yourself about is the great parts that you're experiencing, and that's your focus. That'll bring more of that same experience toward you because that's your focus. And that's how easy life is. That's actually the law of attraction. You are tuning yourself to a cycles per second rotation that matches what you think that vibration and feel into that experience will be. Cool, huh? Okay, all right. Breathe, take a nice breath, maybe drink some water. Think about being inside of your body. This is a very fast vibration that we're sharing. We're doing this through our mindset and consciousness and through our emotional connection in common sense. Okay. And how you interpret these experiences through those connections is called the clairs in metaphysics. All right. Okay. So in science, they're signals, they're frequencies, and they're a wave generation that reads as light and sound. Okay. So light and sound, we are light and sound. And because we are atomic, we are all an atom. Okay. When it comes down to it, we're at that very, 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 very. Okay. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we're always in motion. We're inertia. We're not inert. Okay. So we are constantly in motion. That's the way of everything, all that is. Somebody is thinking about something somewhere and feeling into something somewhere. And we're all doing the same thing at the same time. So we're adding perception to our experience constantly. We're the ones that are cultivating our own conversations. Okay. So we're cultivating our own conversations and we're buying in through our agreement and acceptance of our interpretation of our surroundings and experience to and of ourselves, right? Okay. How do we learn to do that? How do we learn to do that? That's where you got to go. Where do you learn your story? Are you happy with your story? Right? Are you happy? Are you satisfied with your story? The story, I mean, like what you're living. Do you like your job? Do you like the people you're around? Are you being treated well with respect? Is it stressful? Is it relaxing? Is it beneficial? Does it provide growth? Right? In what areas do you find that you are feeling enough? Okay. Now you have to investigate what enough is. Okay. But that brings you more into your embodiment of your physical, because now you're investigating, because now you're checking your physical to see, like, well, what do I need? You just need to be. You need to be present. You need to be accepting that you're enough. And this is how you reset yourself. You just keep noticing yourself. And it's kind of a form of meditation. Meditation. Wow. Interesting. So we released an old story just now. Did you see that leave? Wasn't that wild? I love when we come into an entrainment. So here's what an entrainment is. An entrainment is a shared understanding and meaning vibrationally. Okay? There was a scientist who got two grandfather clocks, and they each had different pendulum swings. And so what he did was he practiced swinging them at different intervals and noticed that one always drew the other into its like gravitational or electromagnetic pull, right? And electromagnetic frequency is that. It's magnetic frequency. That means the centrifugal force of the object is spinning at such a degree that it magnetizes the field and pulls it toward you. All right. And it does it through frequency. So, cycles per second vibration. Got it? All right. So, if you are relaxing into your perception and allowing it, you're more contemplative, then you are accessing your belief system in an open way. You're allowing you to be enough, and you're willing to read a book or two, but nothing has to change, right? And if you are executing the reading of a book, right, you need this book because there's a strategy you're building, then you're more in a masculine nature than a feminine nature, because it's usually reasoning and logic. Okay. And expression that is the masculine. All right. The divine feminine is the perception, the third eye energy, and the sentience. Okay. So, as above, so below. everything is the same. Sometimes the energy is a push energy. Sometimes the energy is a draw energy. Okay. So when you are in a shared space, it's called entrainment. And it's usually because there is a focus that's been brought forward for this group of people. All right. Curiosity is usually it. Okay. All right. So for this particular thread, we're a little bit in contemplation, but we're at this place where we all feel like in our heart chakra, we all feel, okay, that we're like at the leading edge of something, the leading edge of knowing something important, right? That's like anticipation amplified, right? That space that we're in right now, that amplified velocity, because that's what it feels like, right? It feels like momentum. Okay. That is the attraction you're beginning to build to what you may ask the universe for as experience. All right. You may do it through a conversation in your mind with yourself, with the energy, with consciousness, with God, with ascended masters, galactic beings, your choice, spirit. All right. Who am I to rob you of your experience? I know what mine is. And I love listening to other people's interpretations of their experiences. It allows me to grow and accept better who I am. I get so much explanation from other people's beliefs about things that I've known forever and ever and ever. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I learn. I want to learn. I have an avarice for learning, for knowledge, for understanding. And I love to create meaning. So I love to feel into things and intuit it. There we go. See how it felt like water turned on in this region, right? We just opened the flow. That's what we did. We did that through an intention, okay? And we're using water to heal right now. So we're using the components of the atomic table inside of us physically, the atmosphere around us, okay, physically, breath. All right, there's moisture in breath, right? Okay. And then a thought and a feeling about our situation, right? Like what we would like to. Ooh, we get to ask for something. What should we? Ooh, wow. And now that pulls you out of any problem that you were in. Now you go into observation. So that's the second phase in reframing your neuroplasticity. All right, is to become the observer of the situation. And then you can remove yourself several times and really look at it. And then by then, there's no action to take. Sometimes that is a little bit too removed from your physical state. So you want to stay engaged so that you're in balance. So it feels like you're in harmony. Like you know what's going on around you. You participate where you would like physically, mentally, and emotionally. And then you give yourself grace. And then you stay present. That seems like a lot, but we're doing it right now. And we've done it for several minutes already. And how is it for your nervous system? Because you notice that like your body let go of things that were around you, just thoughts, stories. All right. And maybe it got more spacious, right? See how we're all going into the same space and we're noticing that maybe it isn't that experience for everyone, right? And as we notice, the law of transmutation, universal law, begins to change, transmute the energy, because it can't be destroyed or created, but it can be manipulated. And depending on the vibration that is the strongest, right, that's how the energy will behave. So dude gets two grandfather clocks. They have these pendulums. One is, the other, but it keeps pulling it in to its gravitational pull. He starts them like this and they're like this, and then all of a sudden they're back to this one. But this one is the steady. He was monitoring them so well that he can see which one is pulling the other into its vibe. All right. So they call that entrainment. When we go to school, all right, and we're young and we're sitting behind a desk and we're learning from a teacher, we're being entrained to authority. All right. And it's very energetic because we're involving our mind, body, and spirit. So we're developing a belief around it, how we feel, right? We're having thoughts, right? Lots of thoughts when we're in school. And then physically, we're deciding if we're comfortable or not, right? And there's a bunch of us together that feel that same way, but the way that we interpret it is not like that. We interpret it as, well, if I have to be under somebody, then somebody has to be under me. So then you start to separate yourself from the community you could build, right? Okay. And so a lot of times that's how teachers are with the energy. I don't know why I went there. That was very interesting for what I was seeing. Oh, I know. I know why. Because they turned it into a classroom construct. I went back in. Now I'm there. So it's a classroom construct. How interesting. So this is at the back of someone's mind or our mind. So this is in the back field. So this is our subconscious. Oh, and this feels joyful. It feels like the yard, like you're like you're playing on the swings with your friends and on the gym bars and stuff, the jungle gym, and you're going down the slides and running on the grass and everything. You're playing. This feels very co-creative. Ooh, so this is the energy. Oh, there we go. That's really nice. So we're all thinking that it would be nice. Wouldn't it be nice? That's an easy phrase, right? And those that just learned that phrase and said it, now all of a sudden that other thing came out, right? So wouldn't it be nice? See how you just changed your vibe? I like to say the word chocolate, think and feel it, taste it if I can. So change your vibe on a dime. Think of a word that'll let you do that, right? Okay, so groove into that vibe, right? And so here we are now, we're going to settle. It's starting to settle. And then I'm going to ask for each of us to have like a feeling of spaciousness around us to where, like, maybe I like 20 feet. So 20 feet of space at all times around myself. So that I can slow down the amount of information or energy that I have access to. And now I can hold myself in this vibration and operate. That's how I do it. Okay. I give myself the benefit of doubt and I say I can. Then I let myself do it. There's a lot of layers. I've done a lot of studying. I've had a lot of coursework. I've reached into several different bags of belief and different renderings of belief, and fractured and fractaled and shared and all kinds of beliefs, right? Because I want to expand. So where are you? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about expansion? Okay, what is expansion to you? Okay, there you go. Now you're giving yourself that spaciousness simply because you thought and felt a word. That's how in charge you are of your vibrational experience. So I would say that Bernadette, your curiosity brings lots of unknown to you, right? That's how I would say it. So your curiosity brings you a lot of unknown. And the unknown is who you're yet becoming. Okay? That's all it ever is. It's who you're yet becoming. It has nothing to do with the external. The external might trigger you, reflect to you, great, bad, whatever you interpret it to be in the moment. But internally, your mind will kick in, and so will your heart. And then they will have a conversation about the experience. Okay? And how you interpret that conversation is the inspiration you'll derive that you will create from that frequency, that vibrational offering to yourself from yourself. Okay? We're here to expand our consciousness, so it's important that we are also individual to our experience. If we were all the same, what would be the expansion? Okay? So what I would do were I you, I might allow myself to sit in the energy like this. And then, because you have a lot of perceptive energy going on, right? Okay. And so how close to the window or glass do you want to be? That is the question I'm going to ask you. Okay. So push the glass further away from you. Keep pushing it until it's far enough away to where you don't feel it in your third eye. You're getting there. You're almost there. You think you won't be able to do it, but you will. That's why it's heavier on the right side. There you go. Almost. See, it's still in your neck. Okay, so keep pushing. Tell yourself, I can retrieve this information anytime I need. There you go. Good deal. See how your throat chakra opened up? All right. And you're heavy in your sight, your ocular, because you want to see through. Okay? All right. That's normal. That's natural. Okay? All right. The heaviness that's right here, ask if that belongs to you. All right? Just, you can close your eyes if you want, but ask, does that heaviness belong to me? You're getting a lot of information very fast. Tell the information to slow down. Just say it. Just say slow down. Say it again. Say it again. Slow down. Slow, slow, slow down, slow. There you go. Slow down. You do have that. All right. There you go. All right. Great. Better. Okay. All right. And now you can release it from your field because you've given it a voice and you know that it is energy communicating with you, basically. All right. And it'll fall into any categorical belief system that you might have. It's just energy to me, but we went over that at the very beginning. Okay. Now, for me, how I usually, when it's energy such as this, I usually treat it like it needs to transition from one dimensional space to the next. So I just open up like a transition point and I fill it with a lot of light, all right, to illuminate their way, whatever that might be, whatever their next choice is, right? And then I invite the energy to go to the light, go to the light, go to the light. And I do this at least every day, at the least every day. When I'm doing shows, I do it 2 or 3 times a day. When I have clients, I do it at least before and after, sometimes during, depending. Now your body is beginning to register your actual energetic experience instead of the overwhelm that you were in. See? See? Breathe and let go. Okay. All right. Now, you do have a little bit of pain in your neck right here. Okay. And that's going to be a description in the story. So, whatever story you're telling to yourself that is giving you a pain in the neck, that needs to be alleviated so that that will go away. All right. Next. I don't know if you're telling yourself you're exhausted or if you are exhausted. Okay. Yet it's a very strong vibration that you're practicing. And that is because you're trying to navigate everything all at once. So relax. Relax again. See how you're all right here. And so relax back into your body. Okay. All right. So there we are. for you. Okay. There you go. Okay. All right. So the things that you can do for yourself to support yourself, like while you find yourself in these situations, is create things in a psychic way, in a psyche way that support your belief system, whatever it is. So if you believe in the paranormal, you need to be the hero. Somehow you need to be the hero of whatever the scenario is. All right. And then that will allow you to interact with the energy in that way. If you decide, I'm not sure what it is that I'm doing, and I didn't know that at first. So this is golden information. All right. When I started to just step into it and trust, it was always right. It had always been right. It had just been less. And now it's just, here we are. Just do it. You'll be okay. Trust you. That's the game. The unknown is how you're going to become whatever it is that this looks like in the future. Okay? And it's always going to be that. It's going to be whatever you think it is. Okay? It's always going to be whatever you think it is. It's always going to be whatever you say it is. It's always going to be however you feel about it. It's always going to be that because you're choosing that. Okay? And if you want to live in a dominant society, a domineering society, then you're going to invent mistakes. You're going to invent them because there are none. There's no such thing. What are you measuring the mistake by? The way the problem was handled previously? Okay. No mistakes. We have rendezvous for sure. I'm not saying accidents don't happen, right? But I don't consider those mistakes. I consider those accidents, like they are not really planned. Some people would call them fate or destiny because your subconscious was in charge of the magnetic vibration to bring it toward you. So you have to be careful, right, about what you wish for and when, how you're feeling about it. Okay. There. Okay. So my lesson for today is to just be okay being you and practice that. Just be okay being you. Let go of the stories from other people because a lot of emotions are coming up right now. Understand that those emotions are opening for everyone and there's an entrainment. Okay? And we have chaos in the entrainment. We have confusion, shock, disbelief, denial. We also have discovery, okay? And we have awakening. We have a renewal. We have a rejuvenation starting at a very deep level, right? So there's a lot of components that are needed if you call in change. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Because all of it has to be recognized. It has to be recognized in order for any kind of accountability to show up. So first we have to be willing to see it for what it really is. So, here we are. Well, okay. Very good. Me and my philosophy. We're all coming back into our physical selves with the focus of that right now, if you were in the entrainment. And what it does is it allows you to have a cycles per second vibration that was maybe a little bit faster than the one you were practicing. So whatever was bothering you that was at that other vibration isn't necessarily in your present or current experience as an offer. Maybe there's something else, like go for a walk or have a juice. Okay. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much.